Good morning, welcome back to another deadline stream. My transfers are already locked in, so it's going to be a little bit calmer, I would say, than normal, for me at least anyway. There's going to be no panic because I've already made my moves, but maybe for a lot of you, you're still wondering whether to get Man City players in, whether to swap Arsenal players, whether to take hits, whether to get rid of Bruno, keep him. I think there's going to be quite a few dilemmas, and to be honest, I think some people have got massive benching headaches, which and I'm not going to be able to help with massively either, to be honest, because you've just got two good squads. You should have a bad squad like mine where you have to bench Tarkowski, Mings and Greenwood, and there's absolutely no decisions to be made. But hopefully you're all doing well. Why did I make my transfer already? I did it last night because it looked like Odegaard might go up in price and Martinelli might drop. In the end, neither of those things happened, so it didn't really matter, but I just didn't want to take the risk for a move that I was probably going to do anyway. So yeah. Shakalaka Mecca Leka, member for 21 months with the best username on YouTube. May green arrows be with you. I've forgotten what a green arrow looks like, to be honest with you, so it would be nice, yeah. Vigorous Pigeon. Good morning. Bench Mitrovic, Mitoma or Salah. You see, nightmare. I would bench Mitoma out of those because Salah and Mitrovic have both got 2 home games. So yeah, I would bench Mitoma. I was actually, before the double got announced, I was actually looking at Salah and Greenwood to Mitoma and Kane. I would have benched Mitoma in that move. Start Andreas on Yonto. Probably that's a hard choice. At home to Man United or at home to Forest, but Yonto just looks way more attacking, doesn't he? I feel like if I had that choice, I would probably start Nyonto. But that's pretty close, right? I mean, what is it? It's Man United at home. I mean, the thing is, here's one thing to consider. Right, Mitrovic has been so bad at penalties. Will Andreas take the next penalty? Maybe. He might do. I think I would play Nyonto, but I suspect a lot of people would just say Andreas. Yeah, I think a lot of people will go Andreas. It probably makes sense. A much better fixture. Like, I know Man United conceded twice the leads at home. Doesn't mean it's necessarily going to happen again. Yeah, let's say Andreas. It's close, though. I wouldn't want to bench either, really. Mitoma's the man in form. Yeah, I get it, but it's Mitrovic against Nottingham Forest, it's Salah against Everton, or it's Mitoma away to Crystal Palace. And every chance that Mitoma's the one that scores the most points, but that is the one that I would bench, I think, out of those 3 this week. I get where you're keeping Salah. I don't even want to talk about Salah, but suggesting if you didn't have him, you would get him in for match day 25 is still nuts. Okay. I'm not telling you to buy him, I'm just saying what I would do. Duncan, Bruno Mahrez or Mitoma De Bruyne. Bench. Oh my god. It's like, Duncan, I like that. You put like a million questions in one thing. Thanks for being a member for 1 month now, by the way. Bruno Mahrez or Mitoma De Bruyne. For this week, Bruno Mahrez. Longer term, probably Mitoma De Bruyne, I guess. Bench 2, Trippier, Gabriel, Shaw, Tarkowski, Ming. I mean, Tarkowski's got Liverpool away. That's not even up for... I mean, that's easy, right? You got Trippier against Bournemouth, Gabriel with a double game week, and Shaw versus Leeds. And you got Tarkowski and Mings who are playing Liverpool and Man City away. Surely that's obvious. Play or bench Nyonto. Play in depending on who you'd have to bench instead. Have Kane, Haaland, triple captain, Odegaard, Saka, Rashford, the options above. Yeah, I would bench Nyonto over all those attackers. Yeah, I mean, you've got a great 11, so happy days. Like, you're on for big points this week, I would say, with that team. But yeah, you've got to bench Tarkowski and Mings. They've got Liverpool and Man City away. There's not even a debate to be had there. Would you do Shaw, Anthony and Martinelli to Lewis, Saka and Odegaard for a -4, or Shaw to Tarkowski instead, but means no City defence? I don't think not having City defence is that bad, to be honest. I would rather do Shaw to Tarkowski than to Lewis, I think, even with the double game week. So yeah, I think that's quite a nice -4. Like, Anthony is injured. Like, the Martinelli move you don't have to make, but I've done it, so I guess I can't say it's a bad move. Like, by the way, I've not really talked about it. It's in the ticker above. But my moves I've done are Shaw to Tarkowski, Martinelli to Odegaard, and White to Gabriel. And there is absolutely every chance that backfires. Like, White could easily outscore Gabriel, and Martinelli could easily outscore Odegaard. But I've just done it. It's almost like peace of mind. Just done. No Nketiah with, like, how many question marks is that? Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 question marks. When one won't suffice, put 10. Yeah, I've got no Nketiah. Because I've got 3 other Arsenal players. Is bench boost worth using? By the way, I really like Shaw versus Leeds. Yeah, Luke Shaw's one of those players that lots of people are going to start and lots of people are going to sell this week. And that is just a perfect example of how every team is different and how every FPL manager is maybe thinking about blank game week 25 differently or has to think about it differently, right? Like, I'm already on triple City. I was already on triple Arsenal. I've already got Salah in for the double. Like, I've already got with my moves I've made now. I've got 10 I've got 10 players for game week 25. Like, I didn't need to keep Luke Shaw this week, but for lots of you, it's going to make sense to play him. That is just FPL right now. Would you do Shaw? Oh, sorry. Is bench boost worth using this week or keeping for later in the season? I've got triple Arsenal, Man City for their double. But those 3 players, those 6 players, triple Arsenal and Man City, they're not on your bench, right? So it really depends what your bench looks like. By the way, thanks for being a member for 5 months. I would say that most people probably don't need to use the bench boost this week. There probably is going to be a good time to use it later on with the doubles. I am kind of a fan of not getting too caught up in your entire strategy being based around a bench boost, but there is a chance that we'll be able to use it pretty soon after we wildcard, and that's when I like to use it, in a double. So unless your bench is absolutely stacked this week, like, I mean, some people might have, like, there's people out there with Edison and Kepa, right? So they might have Kepa versus West Ham away, they might have Mitoma versus Palace away, and then maybe 2 other good players on the bench. Maybe that's worth it. But for most people, you'd probably want to keep Bruno to Saka, Odegaard, or Roll. I mean, I would definitely want an Arsenal player over Bruno. Like, Bruno's great. Again, this is like the Luke Shaw conversation, right? Bruno is great for this week and next week. He's on penalties, 2 good fixtures. I'm not probably going to sell him until game week 25. I did consider selling Fernandes last night, by the way, instead of Shaw. For reasons I won't bore you with now, but I did think about it. But yeah, it's the same situation as Shaw. For some of us, it's worth keeping him. We don't need to sell him. But if your only way to get another Arsenal player in is to sell Bruno, yeah, absolutely. I would much rather have Saka than Fernandes this week, 100%. We should take a hit to swap White to Gabriel. I mean, I've literally done that. I mean, you can frame it how you want. I've either done Martinelli to Odegaard for free and I've done White to Gabriel for a hit, or I've done White to Gabriel for free and Martinelli to Odegaard for a hit. But either way, I've done it. So I guess, would I do it? I mean, I've literally done it. Whether you need to do it, it's a different story. Like, I think one thing to say is that lots of people tout that, you know, over several game weeks the hit will pay off, and that might be true, but with the double game week 27 announcement, that may well change our chip strategy. So Arsenal players might not be quite as important for as long, because we might be able to wildcard sooner than we were previously thinking. And also, you can make the move next week, right? So if White outscores or matches, let's say White outscores Gabriel this week, then you're ahead on points, and then you can just make the move next week for free instead. And then you're up 4 points on top of whatever he outscores him. So I've done it because I wanted to just get it done. And I think there is, I don't know, I mean, I quickly did a search on Twitter last night for Ben White, not specifically from FPL accounts. And there was a lot of Arsenal fans that want to see Tomiyasu start. Now, the problem is, what the fans want or think will happen is not what Arteta's necessarily thinking about. Like, I don't necessarily trust fans of clubs to predict their team any more than anyone else. But there was a lot of talk about it, and that's kind of what tipped me over the edge into doing it. But otherwise, like, yeah, I don't know if there's much more I can add. Like, it could work out. Like, White might miss a game and Gabriel could score a header from a corner, right? Or, you know, White could go off in the 61st minute and Gabriel gets his clean sheet wiped out later on. So, yeah, it's a close one. I think it'll probably... I got a feeling next week I'll be thinking, it probably wasn't a good move, but who knows? Hopefully get some positive variance on it. Should I do Cancelo to Ake or Kanji? Which one? If I was buying one this week, I would definitely go for a Kanji over Ake. Or Bruno to Mahrez. What's the better move? Well, I mean, you've got to get rid of Cancelo, right? Well, the thing is, if you keep Cancelo, you can... If you keep Cancelo, you can probably bench him. So if you've got a good bench, I think Mahrez outscores Ake and Akanji, but it makes more sense to keep Bruno and get rid of the guy that's not even in the league anymore, right? So probably Cancelo to Akanji without knowing your future moves. Thanks for being a member for 5 months, by the way. Bench one, Matoma, Bamford, Bruno or Rashford. Well, you can't bench... I don't think you can bench Bruno or Rashford, so it's between Matoma and Bamford. I think I would bench Bamford out of those. He is home to Man United, right? So he will get... I'm sure he'll get chances, but I feel like he's probably going to come off around the 60th minute again. So I'd probably go Matoma, I think. I think if Bamford was away, I would definitely say. Sorry. No, what am I saying? Yeah, if Bamford was away, I would definitely say Bamford bench. I think it's a little bit close because he's at home, but I think I would go Matoma. Play Shaw or Botman alongside Trippier. I mean, Bournemouth just don't score a huge amount of goals. So I'd be tempted to say... I wonder how much is playing on my mind that Man United just conceded twice to Leeds, you know? And this time it's away. So even tougher. Like, Leeds set up really well against Man United. Like, they just let Varane have the ball because he's not very good with his distribution. I think I would play Botman over Shaw. It's such a tough one because Shaw also has attacking potential as well, probably more than Botman, but I think I would go for Botman. I think he's more likely to get a clean sheet. FPL Audit Romano, how is it going? Shaw or Dunk? I think I would go Dunk. Ticker at the top says you got Tarkovsky. I did. Yeah, I think I would go Dunk. Again, I think it's just more chance of a clean sheet, to be honest with you. I think Shaw is such a weird one this week. I've sold. Lots of people are going to play him, but for a lot of people it makes sense to bench him as well. Your moves are very sideways for a -4. Yes, they are. But I mean, honestly, what should I have done instead? I mean, I could have just done one of the moves. I could have kept White or Martinelli. That was definitely on my mind and not taken a hit. But honestly, what other move would I have made this week? Like, there's not much. Like, I'm in a position where I'm almost stuck with my team because I've got triple Man City. I didn't really see the point in move. Like, if I got rid of Ake, which to be honest I did think about because I don't think he's going to start against Villa, then I could have got Mahrez or De Bruyne in, but I would have had to sell Fernandes or Salah. I mean, Fernandes to Mahrez might have been alright, I guess. Mitrovic has got Nottingham Forest at home, so that wasn't really a move for me. Trippier, let's not even discuss. Same with Haaland. So like, there wasn't really much else I could do. Nah, and Nketiah for Mitrovic, that's a bad move. That's a bad move in my opinion. The only way I can get a third Arsenal player is Shaw to Ben White -4 or Rashford to Martinelli -4. Would you do that or wait until game week 25 to get Gabriel? Yeah, I don't really like either of those moves if I'm honest. It just doesn't feel right to bring Martinelli in for a -4 when people are thinking about selling him for a -4. And Shaw to Ben White. You want to... I guess... I don't know. Timinator. That's quite a hard one because I would want the Arsenal player in this week. I guess you're basically for... Basically, you're... Do you know what? I would wait, I think, for Gabriel. Right? And the reason is... I think, as much as Arsenal are important, you're basically hoping that 2 players that people are thinking about selling for hits are worth 4 points over 2 Man United players with good fixture this week. And next week it's not as important because Arsenal obviously only have 1 fixture. So Shaw and Rashford will have Leicester at home versus Arsenal with Villa away. So I think they're perfectly fine next week. So I think I would wait, Although I would hate it. I would hate not having triple Arsenal this week. But I think in your case, if that's the only way to get them, that will probably be a wait, I think. Kilman is a better move, than Tarkowski? Yeah, but I could have actually afforded Kilman. The problem is I would say he has a worse double in 25, although probably plays for a better team. At least right now. Maybe Sean Dyche will get them keeping loads of clean sheets. But also, Wolves aren't guaranteed to play in 28, whereas Everton are. Now, don't get me wrong, Everton's fixture is Chelsea away, which is not great whatsoever. But they also play in game week 32 as well, whereas Wolves have got Leicester away, and that game might be off. So Tarkowski is just a little bit cheaper. I could have afforded Kilman. I had 4.3 million to spend, but he's guaranteed fixture in 28 and 32. And look, I might end up wildcarding before then, so it won't matter, but I don't think it's too much of an issue. I mean, the benefit to Kilman is his next two fixtures are good, but I don't need to play him, right? This week anyway. Next week maybe, but if I think Ake starts, I will just play Ake, Gabriel and Trippier again. And Tarkowski's got Leeds at home in game week 24 anyway. So I could always play him if I absolutely had to. Also, I just realised that Everton Leeds is the 3 PM game in Ireland next week, so maybe I'll watch Tarkowski for that one. I've brought Saka in for Amron. I've got 7.9 million in the bank, and I have Mudryk. Keep or sell for a -4. I guess it depends who you can bring in, but Mudryk will probably start, so you could just hold on to him. He's probably not worth a hit unless you can go. Like if you can go to if you could go to Mahrez, I would maybe do Mudryk to Mahrez for a -4, or Mudryk to another Arsenal player for -4. But I don't know about too many other players right now. One of the hardest this week's for head-scratching decisions. Yeah, it's all going to depend on your team. Like some people have got easy moves this week. Some people have got much harder ones. I'm just hoping that all the pain over the last few weeks for being set with a team that I felt like I couldn't change pays off over the next few weeks. Like I've already got 10. Like I've got Mings, Tarkowski, Mitrovic, Haaland, Saka, Odegaard, Salah, Gabriel, Ake and Edison. So it's 10 players that all play in game week 25. And even if we say that Ake is a bit of a risk, I should have 2 free transfers in 25 to deal with it. So I could do Fernandez to whoever and Ake to Trent if I wanted to, for example. I wonder, my backup for game week 25, if I don't want to get an extra Liverpool player in, like let's say I don't want Darwin or Trent, I think my backup is to maybe take a punt on Jared Bowen, who's got Nottingham Forest at home that week, and then Brighton away, Villa at home, but will probably blank in 28. That's my backup, but I'm not worried about it right now. People are selling Martinelli because they're worried that Trossard... Well, no, it's not even a worry. Trossard is taking minutes off him, so I don't think that's really up for debate. I think Martinelli is going to get fewer minutes now Trossard is in the side. I think people are probably overplaying how many minutes he's going to miss out on. But Arsenal do have... Let's have a look here. Arsenal do have... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fixtures in... So 11th... So 17 days to the 28th. In 18 days, they've got 5 fixtures. So, I mean, if you're going to give... if you're going to give someone a rest, then surely it's Martinelli when you've got Trossard sitting there. But the chances are it's not going to be this week. So that all comes back to what I was saying on yesterday's video. It's all well and good saying that Martinelli to Odegaard will work out over, this many weeks. But what if Martinelli starts both of these and it's one of these fixtures he's rested in, then you don't take the hit this week and he outscores Odegaard and then you just make the move for free in 24 or 25 instead. Like, that's perfectly fine. The problem is most of us FPL managers, we don't like waiting to do the move when we've got it locked in our head. I'm just hoping, I guess, now that he does miss one of these next 2 games. But I think he absolutely starts against City and he's just had a week off. So I don't see why he won't start against Brentford. So for any of you that are sitting there thinking people are crazy for selling Martinelli for a hit, because you think he's going to start both games and get past 60 minutes in both, which he probably will, then I would say you're probably absolutely right and don't get rid of him. Bench Shaw or Botman? I'd probably bench Shaw, I think, playing Trippier and White. I have Trippier, Shaw, White, Martin and Dillaud. Do I go Bruno and Cancelo to De Bruyne and Akanji for... Is that a -4? For a -4. I would be tempted to do that, yeah. I mean, the rest of your team looks pretty solid. De Bruyne and Akanji, -4. Sounds alright. Cancelo's no good here. Lovely moves this week. Good luck for 23. Thank you very much. In unrelated news, big moment for Aussies tomorrow. Volkanovski versus Makachev, I guess. UFC. Who have you got? I hate to break it to you, but as you can tell by the way I pronounce those names, I don't watch UFC, so I got no idea. Doesn't interest me whatsoever, to be honest. I'm sorry, UFC fans. I'm sorry. Who would you start between Shaw and James? Good question. Both away games. I would say I would start James, because I love James. FPL Inception, how's it going? Please take a look at the Solver's optimal transfer plan for your team on the FPL Inception YouTube page. You'll definitely want to take a look. I've already made my transfers, though. Appreciate the comment, but I've already made my transfers, so it's too late. I'll try and check it out at some point, though. I'll try and check it out at some point. But yeah, I've made my transfers. Hopefully the Solver said Shaw to Tarkowski, Martinelli to Odegaard, and the other one that I've done, White to Gabriel. You got those names bang on, did I? Volkanovski. I mean, Volkanovski is kind of easy. I mean, it's you kind of pronounce it how you would expect it. The other one's hard. Makachev. I don't know. I'll go for the Australian guy, but I don't know. I don't know which one's the. You'll see big moment for Aussies tomorrow. I'm guessing one of those two is Australian, but it's very hard to know which one. Or is it just in Australia? Like, teach me here. I haven't got a clue. Is it being hosted in Australia, or is one of those Australian? In which case, Volk is the Aussie. Okay, I mean Volkanovski doesn't sound like your typical Australian name. But maybe it is. Then sure, we'll back the Australian. Anyway. UFC, not what we're here for. I can't talk about UFC because I haven't got a clue. Start Sean Yonto or Andreas. Andreas. Yonto to Nketiah for a -4 and bench Andreas, or Andreas to Odegaard for -8 and bench Yonto. I have to make additional transfers to afford. I'll probably just do the -4, I think. Nketiah is definitely better than thingy. I'm going to have to... Hang on. I'm going to have to... Volk and... Alexander. Tarkowski, clean sheet or Mitrovic? Are we saying play Tarkowski against Liverpool away or Mitrovic at home to Nottingham Forest? Is that what we're asking here? Like, don't get me wrong, I get the Liverpool hate and doubt and everything, but there is no way you can play Tarkowski away to Liverpool instead of playing Mitrovic home to Nottingham Forest. Sanchez or Kepa? I think if you were starting this week, right? Let's say this is game week 1 and none of the other results have happened, although you've got to pay attention to them, I guess, right? Let's say you don't know that Kepa's had like 3 10-pointers or like a couple of 10-pointers and a 9-pointer, then I think you play Sanchez, because I think he's got an easier fixture against Crystal Palace than it is going away to West Ham. So I think you play Sanchez, but I think most people will play Kepa because of what he's done recently, and that's perfectly fine. Yash, Tony to Felix Havertz -4, or Tony to Kane and De Bruyne to Grealish -8. Definitely not the -8, I don't think. Or just play Tony or bench Tony and play Andreas. Yeah, I'd probably take no hits. I don't see the... I mean, I don't mind João Felix or Havertz, to be honest. Or Kane. Or Grealish, man, I just don't think any of them are worth hits. I disagree. West Ham barely score. Have Crystal Palace been scoring a lot of goals recently? Let's have a look. I don't even know. I couldn't even tell off the top of my head. So Man United away, they scored once. No goals against Newcastle. Oh wait, hang on. Is that? Yeah. One goal against United in the home game. Well, that's a free kick, right? God damn it. Away to Chelsea, nothing. Home to Spurs, nothing. Away to Bournemouth, 2. So in the last... I mean, they've had some tough games, to be fair. They're not scoring a massive amount. Crystal Palace has scored 2 since the restart, apparently. Awful. Yeah, I think Sanchez is probably the correct answer, but I guess most people want to play Kepa, so I'm not going to sit here and strongly argue with you, to be honest. It's not worth it. West Ham have scored 1, 2, 3. I mean, West Ham have only scored 4, to be honest. I just feel like Zaha's still out, right? Am I right there or am I wrong? Yeah, Zaha's still out. I don't think that's helping right now either. Like, at the end of the day, I think most people asking Sanchez or Kepa, they want to play Kepa, so just play Kepa. I'm not gonna sit here and massively argue about it, to be honest. It's just not worth it. As an Arsenal fan, I think Trossard can take minutes off any of the front 3, not only Martinelli. Do you know what? I think you're probably correct. I think Trossard can play in any of those positions, but I think if we're talking about what's most likely, it's going to be minutes off of Martinelli. But don't get me wrong, as someone that sold Martinelli to get Odegaard in, I would find it hilarious, genuinely, if over the next 5 game weeks Trossard starts ahead of Saka or Odegaard. I think it's possible. I just think it's very unlikely. Like, Saka gets a massive knock, and they're always trying to get him straight back on the pitch for the next game. Like, look at his minutes. 90. He didn't play against Nottingham Forest. Can't remember if he was injured for that game, but he did get an assist off the bench. 90, 80. Or did he get injured in that game? I can't remember. Like, he just plays so many 90s, whereas Odegaard, mostly 90s as well, did play 76, came off of Vieira, but with Marseille, we've literally seen Trossard coming in on that position. So I agree with you. It is possible. Trossard is good enough to play in any of those positions. But it's unlikely. It's unlikely. Oh, he came off injured. Yeah, okay, fair enough. I think I feel like I was eating pizza in Milano's in Galway that day. And like, he got an assist, and I was thinking, great, he's got an assist really early. And then he came off. I could be wrong. Mikalenko or Tarkowski, I'm on wild card. I mean, Mikalenko's not that much more expensive, is he? I think Mikalenko's pretty much nailed on. Maybe a little bit more attacking. He's only 0.1 more. I feel like for a player you're only really going to want to use in the blanks, you just save the money and go for Tarkowski, to be honest with you. Mikalenko's probably fine. I don't think there's much competition there. Everton fans, let me know if I got that wrong. Could someone else play instead of Mikalenko? I mean, he's literally played all season and pretty much anyway. I would just go Tarkowski though. Loz, how is it going? Akanji Gabriel, the armband is going somewhere. Haaland form not great. Thinking Nketiah, your thoughts? I would go Haaland. Again, we're talking about Haaland not being in form, but he scored 7 in 7 games. The only ones he's blanked in are away games to Chelsea, Spurs, and Man United, right? And I know early on in the season, everyone says things like Haaland's fixture proof. It doesn't matter. Most players are not fixture proof, right? They might still score, but they're less likely to score as many goals. So Haaland blanking in 3 tough away games, it happens, right? I agree that they're not playing as well as maybe they were earlier on in the season, but he scored 7 in 7 since the World Cup. Imagine when he's in form, what he's going to do. He's just scored a hat-trick against Wolves at home. You know, he scored 2 goals against Leeds, first game they were back. I think a home game against Villa is enough, even if Arsenal away is tough. I agree that Arsenal away is going to be a hard game for them. But I just think he doesn't need much from the Arsenal game to make it a really good triple captain. Like, could he score 10 plus points against Villa? Yes. Can he get 1 goal against Arsenal? Yes. And straight away you're like 16 if that happens, which would be perfectly fine. I was eating pizza in Galway on that day. You sound like Prince Andrew. Probably not worth going there. But no, I am nothing like him. Did a -4 point hit Cucurella and Martinelli to Rico Lewis and Odegaard. Interesting. Tendy item. 6 months, thank you very much. Have 5 double game players, hope it goes well, and also Newcastle will win the cup. Well, I hope that doesn't happen. But to be honest, Man United losing a few players to injuries. They've got a lot of matches as well. I think Man United will be favourites, but I think Newcastle might should be close. Maybe they are favourites. Maybe they're really close already. But I think Man United having to play so many fixtures before is going to really help Newcastle. I would not be surprised if they won. Considering Cancelo to Tarkowski and Fernandes to De Bruyne for a -4. Sounds okay. Could just do Cancelo to another City defender. I don't know. I don't mind that, to be honest. You're getting rid of a player that's not playing, a player that's going to blank in 25. You're getting another double game weeker in for now, another double game weeker in for 25 that will also play in 28-32. I mean, I guess really you have to decide whether that money you're putting into De Bruyne is going to hurt future transfers. Like, do you want that De Bruyne spot to go to Salah for game week 25, for example, as well? I feel like that's an okay -4. You could do Cancelo to another City defender, but they just feel like a headache to me, honestly. I'd probably go with Kanji and just hope that he keeps on starting. I think I'd be tempted by that -4. How is Captain Saka not a thing? Mostly because Haaland's not injured. Someone said that to me yesterday. He said, what would make you not captain Haaland? I said, if Pep says he's injured. That's it. Jesmar, thank you very much. 2 free transfers currently with 6 blank game week 25 players. We'll do Tony to Nketiah, sounds good. Want to sell Almiron, but already own White and Marseille. My plan is Marseille to Mahrez, Almiron to Odegaard, White to Gabriel. Tempted. So that would be a -8. I don't think you need to do the Martinelli move. Can you not just do Almiron? Oh, you want to get the extra double game week. Can you not just do Almiron to Mahrez? And just keep Martinelli. And just if you want to do White to Gabriel, do that for the -4 and just keep Martinelli maybe. I don't know if that's worth a -8, but overall I think most of those are pretty good moves. Like Saka could outscore Haaland, right? But I feel like I can't believe people are thinking about Saka, if I'm honest, after all we went through with Haaland earlier on in the season. I mean, don't get me wrong, I kind of like it when Haaland gets outscored, but I also want people that go against him to be punished because I was punished so many times by him. Why? So I'm sorry to say that, but that is kind of how I feel right now. Andreas -4 to Mahrez and bench Matoma. Nah, I don't think... it's so tough because obviously Mahrez is great for the double, but having to take a -4 and to bench Matoma, I'm just not sure that's worth it. Unless if you're someone that thinks you're going to keep Mahrez in for the next kind of 4 weeks, like right until game week 26, 27, then maybe. But if you're going to want to get rid of him soon, I probably wouldn't do that. You don't stop. I've still got Phoenix in my ears. I need to change that. Is this a good move to sell Almiron for Matoma and play him and bench Shaw all on a free, or just save the transfer? The thing is, right, Almiron in the kind of short term does probably need to be sold, right? They got Liverpool, blank, Man City. But I think the fact that he's got Bournemouth this week means he's not... Like, do you need Matoma this week over Almiron? I don't think you do. Right? I think it's okay to hold Almiron for Bournemouth instead of having Matoma for Palace. So I think I would roll the transfer and see if you feel differently next week. Like, Matoma's great. And obviously, if you've got him, you want to play him this week and against Fulham in game week 24. And then obviously, you want him for the double in 27. And I will be getting him. But I think you could keep Almiron and roll the transfer this week, in your case. For a lot of people, it makes sense to get rid of him. Play one of Reece James, Darwin, or Shaw. Ooh, only one of them. I'd have to play Darwin, I think. Home to Everton. Shaw and James both... I hate benching Reece James, though, in particular. Like, Shaw's great, but I hate benching Reece James. I think I would play Darwin. I really think to play Matoma instead of Rashford. Oh, I tell you what. Matoma's getting to that point now where I think people are maybe slightly overrating him as an FPL option. Like, he's really good. Really good. And people should be bringing him in as soon as they can. But I feel like it's getting to the point where he's gone from down here to right up here. And now he's creeping up even higher. Like, benching Matoma for Rashford doesn't sound good to me. Sorry, benching Rashford instead of Matoma doesn't sound good to me. Some of you have got really good squads, honestly. Look at my benching headache. Oh, do I play Rashford or do I play Tarkowski? Do I play Salah or do I play Mings? Tough. Can't decide. Salah to De Bruyne for a hit. No, and I need another hit to reverse it and play 11 and 25. Chase the upside of De Bruyne or hold. I'd probably hold. Like, Salah 8 points versus De Bruyne. I'd probably hold. Only because you're saying you're definitely going to want him back. If you weren't necessarily going to get Salah back, it might be different, but I probably wouldn't do it. De Bruyne is due a big haul, possibly a captain differential over Haaland. I mean, De Bruyne is probably the second best captain this week, maybe alongside Saka, sure, but Haaland's better, right? I will say, right, I have really enjoyed all the tweets and stuff saying, this is the week De Bruyne does well, owners are going to be feasting. And at this point, like I've said before, I'm just worried that De Bruyne owners have starved, a bit like Salah owners. But this is the week where he could get something, I agree. But Haaland captain, right? I think there's better weeks to go different with a captain. Like, for example, game week 25, Haaland's got Bournemouth away, so a lot of people will still captain him, especially if he's done well before that, like in the match before, against Forest. But there's a chance to go for an Arsenal player. Now, to be fair, I think a lot of people will probably go towards Saka, but there's an opportunity to go for maybe Odegaard instead if you wanted to. Or maybe even Salah if you're feeling like you want absolute pain and misery in your life, like I said yesterday. But I don't think this is a good week to go against Haaland because he's got a double. Whereas doing it in a double where he doesn't have 2 games and there's a few different players you could choose from, that's a bit different. Maybe you can captain Darwin if you're feeling absolutely crazy. For those of you that love a massive differential. Mahrez or De Bruyne are in for Bruno, or hold and get Salah in 25. Got 1 free transfer. I mean, if you can do... if you're trying to save transfers, then I would just hold, right? If you're happy to... I would probably make 1 extra transfer to get an extra Man City attacker in. I would go De Bruyne and then get Salah in later. But obviously, it's completely up to you. Bearing in mind, De Bruyne has also got Nottingham Forest away in 24. Would I consider Rico? Don't, even if you're a member, please don't spam. Please don't spam. It's just annoying for everyone. No, I wouldn't go Rico Lewis. What's wrong with Ben White? Not a lot. Chance he maybe gets benched at some point. Chance he comes off before 60 minutes, maybe. Chance he comes off in the 61st minute and keeps a clean sheet. Definite possibility. There's nothing massively wrong with White or Marseille, but I wanted to have the Arsenal, like what I would consider the best 3 Arsenal players. What music are you listening to now? Right now, George Ezra, I think. I think, I know. Don't know why I said think. Is top 100k the new top 10k with all the content now available on socials? What is your rank objective? Still top 10k, thanks for the great content. Yeah, I still like top 10. Like, I get it, right? Top 10k is much harder than it was before. Like, people are not going to get consistent top k finishes forever now. It's just much, much harder to do that. I think the fact that I got 2 top 10Ks last 2 years is just very lucky, right? You need that bit of luck to get up there. So yeah, top 100k. I don't know if top 100k is the new top 10, maybe like top 50, top 75, something like that. But I still like to aim for top 10k because having 4 digits is just much nicer than 5 or more, right? Having like a 9984 and 9271 is better than having 11365, whatever, right? It just looks nicer. Same as having 3 digits, right? But I've never been top 1000. Yeah, my objective my objective right now is to get 3 green arrows in a row because I have not had that all season. And then we'll decide later on. I think we've got mini double game week again this week. We've got the blank in 25 with a double. We've got a double in 27. We've got a blank in 28. We've got a double in 29. I think after that, then I might reassess what my aim is. But until that point, there's just so much that can happen. I'm not hugely worried. Top 100k will be good. I think I can get higher though. But I need a bit of luck the next few weeks, honestly. So many fake accounts and 1 week teams. About how many players you think are still actually playing? Oh yeah, it's nowhere near 11 million. But I think the thing to keep in mind, right, and I say this every single year, is yes, there is a lot of duplicate accounts and stuff like that, 1 week accounts where they're trying to get the high score. But I would assume the percentage of those accounts probably doesn't change a huge amount. I'm not saying it doesn't change at all, but it's probably not a huge amount. So let's say after 10 weeks, 50% of all teams are dead teams, right? So they're not making transfers. Well, 50% of 5 million accounts, like there was last year, is 2.5 million, right? I'm very good at maths. Whereas now it's 11 million, that's like 5.5 million. So there is more active players now than there was before, even if there is still a lot of dead accounts. So it's still much harder. 500k is the new top 10k with 11 million. Oh, I don't know about that. Top 500. I mean, I feel like I'm doing really badly right now. Like all my moves are just not working out. I'm making bad decisions, and yet I'm still nearly top 500k. I wouldn't, like, if you're a first-time FPL player, what would you aim for? I'm 829k. I wouldn't really worry too much. Like, just keep playing and see what happens. I don't, like, having an aim doesn't even really matter until you get right to the end of the season, because I'm not gonna change my moves now to aim for top 100k. I'm gonna keep trying to make good moves and hope that it pays off, right? Why are people benching Shaw? Because they got better players to play, I guess. Fernandes to Saka and Shaw to James -4. I wouldn't do Shaw to James for -4. Fernandes to Saka for free, absolutely. Bench boost this team. What's your bench though? Because now I've got to work it out. So basically your bench is going to be what? Ward, Shaw, James. Ward, Shaw, James, Matoma or Andreas. I mean, that's quite a nice bench boost, but I still think you're better off with a double later on. And as single game week bench boost go, yours is pretty good. I mean, if you wanted to do it to get out of the way, you could. But I still probably save it. I mean, yeah, so it's Ward, Shaw, James, and then Andreas or Matoma. I mean, it's quite nice. Quite nice, I won't lie. Bruno Tamares, Martinez to Odegaard for free. Yeah. Sure. For my 11th man, would you start Matoma, Mitrovic, or transfer Mitrovic to Brennan Johnson and start him? I definitely would not do Mitrovic to Brennan Johnson. I would play Mitrovic over Matoma. This is going to be a nightmare week for variants, isn't it? People are going to play in Matoma, benching Matoma, selling Shaw, benching Shaw, starting Shaw, taking a hit for Shaw. Lub Omir Krogsberg, hopefully I got that right. Thank you very much for coming a member. Captain an Arsenal player to chase rank, thinking about EO. I mean, you could do, but I would just go Haaland. He could absolutely destroy you, and then you're having to play catch-up again. Like, the catch-up you're having to do now could get even worse next week by not captaining him. So I think you just go for the best option, and that is Haaland. If you want to go different, then yeah, Saka could be the one. Yeah, Martinez sold a lot, even though he could start both games. Like Martinez could be the highest scoring Arsenal player this week. That would not be at all surprising. Isn't content creation part of the problem of making the game harder? Yep. My dog's going mental. I don't know if you can hear her. Bruno Mares 0 or Matoma De Bruyne -4. Triple captain now or Haaland. I'd probably triple captain Haaland this week if I still had it. Bruno Mares or Matoma De Bruyne -4. Probably Bruno Mares for this week. Why do people look at overall rank? The aim should be to win your mini leagues. Yeah, I don't really have any mini leagues I'm that bothered about, I don't think, apart from my own one. And you've got to be really, really high up the overall rankings to win that. Like the person, I tweeted about it this morning, the person winning my mini league is 18th in the world, and they benched Haaland last week. How would you get away with that? That's the kind of luck you need. I would not be surprised if we saw Trossard on the team sheet ahead of Martinez. I would be a bit surprised, to be honest. The obsession with poor players like Salah and Mitrovic, why you're doing so bad. I know, no crystal ball. No crystal ball to find out who's going to score all the points. Your league has the highest average score across all FPL leagues. Yeah, I mean, it is great. But the one thing to remember with those leagues, it's just the top 5 players. So the more people you've got in your league, the higher chance you've got of being at the top. So It's not. I'm not top because I'm giving out such amazing advice compared to anyone else. It's just a volume thing. I've got more people in the league. Like, it's great. Like, I love it, but that is why. That is why, essentially. Like, my min league has over 100,000 people in. I think. Like, it's mad. Like, had I known that Mitrovic was going to miss 2 penalties, I probably wouldn't have had him. Bench boost, Kepa, Shaw, Pereira, and Yonto. I mean, again, like, I think we've all. Like, I can probably just answer all the bench boost questions now. Some of you got really nice bench boosts. You're probably going to have a better double game week bench boost later on, but it's not guaranteed. If you don't want to wait and take that risk, then do it now. But I think for most people, you're better off waiting. And with 100,000, you're still calling it a mini league. Yeah, well, I guess that's what you got to call it, right? Start Rico Lewis or Dan Burn. Yeah, I'd start the guy with the double game week. Just hope for the best. Had you known the lottery numbers, you would have won the lottery. I know, absolutely. I just need all my decisions to work out at once, not some of them. So, like, keeping Salah, not good. Mitrovic missing 2 penalties, nightmare. But bringing Fernandes in for a hit and getting, like, huge scores from the double game weeks, great. Getting rid of Kepa, no good. Which feels best in your heart? 1 free. Best in my heart. Wow, that's deep. It's deep. 1 free transfer. Bruno Greenwood to Odegaard Kane. I mean, that sounds great. Andreas to Saka. Sounds great. Nketiah, Greenwood to Nketiah. Or Bruno Mitrovic to Saka Kane. Nah. I think Bruno Greenwood to Odegaard Kane sounds pretty good. I assume you're going to block yourself off from getting Salah in 25 without 2 free transfers. As long as you're okay with that, which you probably are, sounds pretty good to me. You've only got 1 free transfer, so that would be for a -4. You can do Andreas to Saka for free. That probably sounds like the best move to me. The thing is, it's hard to know without seeing your future moves, I guess. But Andreas to Saka for free. The thing is, Andreas plays in Game Week 25. Oh, that's tricky. I think Bruno and Greenwood for a -4 to Odegaard Kane is fine. But it depends what it stops you doing later on. You made transfers last week. How did you have 2 free transfers? I didn't make transfers last week. I rolled. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I made 1 transfer last week. I had 2 frees. I only made 1. I was confused then. Natalie Ambrose, thank you very much. Harley, please can you do a quick wildcard team? There's no point because I haven't thought about it. So I would have... So I can just do it off the top of my head really quick. Some players. I would probably have Kepa and Sanchez, I think, without giving goalkeepers too much thought. I would probably have De Bruyne as a placeholder for Salah because of the double. I would probably have Akanji. I would probably have Gabriel, Odegaard, Saka. So that's 7. I'd probably have no Man United players. I'd probably have Trippier as my only Newcastle player. I don't know about Mitrovic. I'd maybe have Mitrovic. Not sure about that. Something like that. That's the main players anyway. Probably missed something there. I'd probably have Mitoma. I'd probably have at least 1 Brighton player. Interesting you go Gabriel over Nketiah. Yeah, if you're wildcard, I think I would just go for the long term, right? I mean, if you're wildcarding this week, you don't have it to fall back on later on. So I think you've got to go for the guy that's nailed on. Now, obviously, Nketiah could be an issue. I think Nketiah is a great pick. I have to keep reiterating this. I think Nketiah is perfectly fine to bring in this week. Like, perfectly fine. But there is a chance that Jesus is back at some point in March. And then Nketiah will become a problem. And also... depending on when it is, you may still want your triple Arsenal. So if you have to go from Nketiah to a midfielder or a defender, that's going to cost you 2 moves. So if I was wildcarding, I would pick the 3 that I have: Gabriel, Saka, Odegaard. But like, there's people out there with Martial, and they can get to Nketiah in 1 move. Like, that's an absolute no-brainer. I would definitely do it. Like, they got Tony, and you can do it to Nketiah in 1 move. Absolute no-brainer. Like, Nketiah is brilliant. I just think it depends on how your team is set up. Like, I wouldn't do Martinelli to Nketiah in 2 moves, but I would do, like, if you could do Martinelli to Odegaard for free, for example, in 1 move. So it all depends. Am I going to play Hogwarts Legacy? Nah, probably not. Not a massive Harry Potter person, to be honest. Lucia, thank you very much. Jordan Lane, which two to play out of Tony, Shaw, and Rico Lewis? I mean, I think if you've got Rico Lewis, you've probably got to play him and hope for the best. And then Tony away to Arsenal or Shaw away to Leeds. I'd probably play Tony. I think play the attacker. It's a tough game though. He's on penalties, right? So I feel like it's tough to bench penalty takers. Bench Shaw, Trippier, Wilson, or Matoma, or play bench boost. I've answered about bench boost a few times now. Bench Shaw, Trippier, Wilson, or Matoma. I think you've got to bench Shaw again. A lot of people benching Shaw this week. Donat Kasabai, thank you very much. I have triple Arsenal, 1 free transfer left. Odegaard, Saka, Fernandes, Rashford, midfield, very nice. I can afford Mahrez and De Bruyne. I'll move to Salah Gameweek 25. Which one? I'll get De Bruyne. I think Mahrez is great, by the way, but if you're going to go Salah anyway, I would just get the one with guaranteed. Well, I would say guaranteed minutes next to. There is a chance that Mahrez plays more minutes than De Bruyne, I guess, but I would go De Bruyne. Shaw for Ake or Akanji. Keep Reece James or sell for a defender with a double in 25 for a -4. I guess why would you sell Reece James now for a -4 for a defender you only want in game week 25 for the double? It doesn't make sense, I don't think. I would hold Reece James. Also have Tony and no idea what to do with him. I mean, if you can get someone like Nketiah, then I would do that. But otherwise, I'd just hold on to him, I think, for now. Can only do one. Almiron. I mean, if you really want someone that's going to play in game week 25, then you could do Tony to Mitrovic. Can only do one. Almiron to Mahrez or Bruno to De Bruyne. I would do Almiron to Mahrez. Do I play Perisic, Shaw, or Reece James? Perisic, interesting. Leicester away. I'd play Reece James. I'm a big Reece James fan if you hadn't already worked out. Alex H, member for 6 months, thank you very much. Should I take a -8 to do Bruno and White to Odegaard and Ake? Nah. Can't just do one because I have 2 over Arsenal. I don't like the sound of that. I mean, I would do it if you get a Kanji, but a -8, I'd probably just hope for the best, to be honest with you. I guess you're getting an extra fixture from the City player as well, but only if they play twice. I'd maybe do it with a Kanji, but my gut instinct is to hold. And we've still got 38 minutes to the deadline. This is what happens when I've already done my transfers. Time goes slow. Haaland triple captain or wait till 25. I'd probably just triple captain Haaland, I think. Nikhil, thank you very much. James, Bruno to Mahrez for free or Bruno to De Bruyne and Shaw to Kilman -4. Unless Shaw to Kilman really helps you over the next few weeks, I would just do Bruno to Mahrez for free. Nikhil, thank you very much again. Ben, start Rico Lewis or Dan Burns. Scout says Lewis. I'd start the guy with a double for sure. I'm swapping Mitrovic to Nketiah. I have Marseille, Odegaard and White. Do I swap Marseille to Grealish or White to Akanji? Honestly, I really don't like those moves. I really don't like it for what it's worth. Like you're swapping an Arsenal player, which is okay. Like I've done that, right? So I'm not against it. But to get rid of Mitrovic, who's got Nottingham Forest at home, just doesn't seem right for Nketiah. So if I had to do one, I would do White to Akanji. But I don't know. It's up to you, obviously. It's up to you. You may translate... Oh, yeah, I've done that one. Sell Weghorst for Mitrovic and start him, or sell Shaw for Ake and start him. I wouldn't get Ake. Weghorst, I think, is more of an issue right now than Shaw. They're both going to be issues by 25. I would sell Weghorst for Mitrovic, I think. Use triple captain on Haaland or Salah game week 25 or another player. Look, honestly, I love Salah, even though he's been really bad for me the last few weeks, right? Some might say it's a little bit unlucky to get 0 points, to get 6 blanks in a row or whatever it is now from Salah. Some people might say that. I wouldn't. But the idea of triple captaining, even I can't get behind that right now. So I'd say Haaland for sure. Walker to Ake to bench Shaw or Marseille to Odegaard. Probably just Marseille to Odegaard. Glenn, how's it going? 7 months member, thank you very much. Marseille Bruno for Saka Mahrez for a -4. I feel like I would probably do that because I love Saka. I think Mahrez extra double game weeker sounds good to me. Have White, Marseille, and Odegaard. So same. I don't know. Would you do Bruno to De Bruyne for free or Marseille to Saka, Bruno to Mahrez -4? I quite like that -4 to be honest. Option 2 makes it tricky to get Salah. Well, you need to decide whether you want to get Salah, I guess. But De Bruyne, Bruno to De Bruyne for free is perfectly fine. Will Trossard start over Martinelli? I would say it's unlikely. If I had to put money on, I would say Martinelli starts both games. Play Tony or Gibbs White? Probably Tony. When do you risk bringing in Liverpool players? I think for most people, if you haven't got them, you just wait till game week 25 and you decide then if you want them. Like if Liverpool play really badly against Everton and Newcastle, you might not even want any in game week 25. So I think that's probably when you do it. Like I said on the video yesterday, I think it was, there's not really too many scenarios. There's not really too many scenarios where I think it makes sense for people to get a Liverpool player this week. In some cases there is, but not very many. Would you get Mahrez in from -4 or De Bruyne from -8? Luke, member for 6 months. Thank you very much. Mahrez, I think. In isolation, Saka or Gabriel more important long term? I think Saka, to be honest. I love Gabriel, but I think Saka. Spazio Kolak, thank you very much for remembering for 2 months. I have to apologise to everyone's name who I absolutely butcher. Since I'm not on triple Arsenal, I imagine keeping Marseille and adding Odegaard instead of Andreas and then Bruno Tamares. Yeah, sounds fine to me. Yeah, don't see, get an extra double game week player in, you get your third Arsenal. Espen, how's it going? Play Shaw or White? I mean, you've got to play the double game weeker. Got to play the double game weeker there. Sell White and Almiron and Bruno to get Odegaard, Tarkowski and De Bruyne from -4. I mean, it feels like a big -8. I mean, you get De Bruyne in, I guess, but it feels like a massive -8 just to switch White to Odegaard. I'm not sure about that, really. I don't really like it all that much, if I'm honest. I mean, you get the extra doubler for 25 as well, and you get De Bruyne this week, and I guess you could argue Odegaard is better than White, and Almiron's not that good for the coming weeks apart from this week. Bruno's blanking in 25. I think you can make a case for it. Just when I first see it, I'm not really that on board, I guess. Ake or Kanji got 30 minutes. I'll come back to you in 29 minutes then. Come back to you in 29 minutes. Is it worth taking a -4 to switch Martinelli to Odegaard? Darren, all I can say is I've basically done it. Whether or not it's worth it, we'll see. I think there's every chance. Like I don't know if there's any more ways I can put it. Really, like Martinelli may start both. Well, he probably will start, but I shouldn't even say may. He probably will start both games. And could Martinelli outscore Odegaard? Yes, simple as that. So is it worth a -4? Possibly. It may pay off over the long run, but you could just do it for free next week instead, right? So you need to weigh up all those things, then decide. I've done it. I've done White and Gabriel and Martinelli to Odegaard as part of a -4. Am I massively confident about it? Not really. Do I feel better about my team? Yes. And sometimes that helps, right? Sometimes that helps. Everyone has dismissed Saka and Ketu as a captain option this week. Nobody has given actual reasons. Well, the reason is Haaland. I mean, that is the reason. Like this, what other reason do you want? Haaland is too good, but I don't see the upside buzz. Well, the upside is he outscores the other two, and you get an increase in rank, right? There's not much I can tell you. I can't sit here and argue for the Arsenal players because I think Haaland is the better option, right? He's almost certainly going to play both games. He's on penalties. His goal threat is ridiculous. He scored over 25. Is it 25 exactly, or is it over 25 now? He scored 25 goals in 22 game weeks. Like it's ridiculous. I mean, I don't know. Like Arsenal got 2 home games. Could do that. Scared of Kepa outscoring Edison. Look, like I think obviously it was bad to do Kepa to Edison, but if Kepa outscores Edison this week, I would say that's just bad luck. That is just bad luck. I think if you had to put money on, you're saying Edison outscores Kepa this week, right? It could happen, though. Because the thing is, he's so good at picking up bonus when they do get a clean sheet. West Ham have won the second most penalties in the league this season. There's a good chance Kepa faces a penalty. Don't tell me things like that, because as soon as a goalkeeper saves a penalty, it's basically three bonus straight away. €20 bet, charity bet for Calm. Trent outscores every other defender over the next 3 game weeks. The thing is, I don't want to take that because I think it's quite likely that happens. Yeah, I think there is a chance, right? You've got a double game week, a pretty good one. Everton at home this week. Even though Trent, by his standards, has had an awful season, he's still extremely creative. Like his expected goal numbers, expected goal involvement numbers are still pretty decent. Someone's DM me. You should organise your 11 a bit more. I've never seen Rashford play right central midfield or Gabriel left back over Ake. I would think this helps the FPL god right in his hand. All right. Okay. do, 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 do. Oh, have they done all the? I've nearly got through all the super chats. Amazing. Okay, seriously now. Okay, seriously now. Right, we know this is serious because they've said seriously now. Salary's probably going to blank against Sean Dyche's Everton. Possibly, yeah. I really think that, for me, switching to De Bruyne is a much better bet. What do you think? Yeah, if you want to go for De Bruyne, go for it. I guess the only thing I would say is, are you going to want Salah back? Because if you are, that's 2 transfers just to get 1 extra game from De Bruyne, which is Arsenal away. Can I do a poll? Let's see. Cancelo and Andreas to Akanji, Ake and Mahrez. Yeah, I kind of like that with Akanji, yeah. Or White and Martial to Ake, Akanji and Nketiah will cost -4. Yeah, I prefer that because Martial is just no good to you. But you think you've still got Cancelo to deal with, but you can deal with him later. I kind of like the second move, to be honest. Should we do Kane to Tony in game week 26, given Kane's fixtures and Tony's likely back? Yeah, but Kane plays Forest. Tony's got a double, though, hasn't he? I mean, that's a really tough move. Kane's got Nottingham Forest in 27, and you're thinking about selling for Tony. Interesting. And Tony's likely back game week 28. Haaland and Nketiah are locked in the other 2 striker spots. Honestly, the thing is, by game week 26, you're going to know the FA Cup results and who's blanking in 28. So there's just no point in thinking about it now. Because if game week 28 becomes easier to manage, and you want to, there might be all I'm trying to say is, I guess there might be a reason to keep Kane, but right now I can't tell you. Like, do I think Tony is better than game week 27 than Kane? Maybe, but Tony could be banned at that point, right? He's 2 yellow cards away from a suspension. So there's no point in worrying about it right now. There's not much I can really say. Martinelli to Saka for -4, already have Odegaard. You could do it, yeah. I mean, I've done Martinelli to Odegaard for -4. Saka's better, so you could do that for all the reasons I've already spoken about. Like, it could backfire, it might not, could pay off over the long term. Nobody knows. Do you want to? Would you feel better with Saka in your team? Maybe. Is there a chance that Marseille misses 1 game over the next 5? Possibly. Is there a chance he starts all 5 and outscores every other Arsenal player? Also, possibly. So you trip over in Asda last week. Just checking to see how you're doing. Fake news. There's no Asda in Ireland. Liverpool have nearly all their reinforcements back with Firmino, Jota and Van Dijk. What's the latest on Van Dijk? I think Firmino's still not quite back training yet. Is that right? Jota might be part of the squad. It's definitely going to help, but you're probably not going to see it in action for the next 2 weeks. So then you're just taking a bit of a hit and hope on Liverpool players in 25. I'm almost certainly going to add a second Liverpool player, but we'll see. Marseille to Odegaard or Marseille Walker to Saka Tarkowski. -4. I mean, probably just Marseille to Odegaard. The thing is, Saka is probably a really good captain in 25, so I'd probably get Saka. Edison and Salah finally paying off. I mean, hope so, but who knows. 2 free transfers. Already did Tony to Nketiah and Amron tomorrow. His next transfer thinking are either Gabriel, a White to Gabriel, or Marseille to Odegaard -4. Yeah. I don't know if there's too much more I can say about those moves, right? Like, I don't have a definitive answer for you, to be honest. Whether White to Gabriel or Marseille to Odegaard is a good move. I've done both of them. I was in a position where I didn't really have to worry about too much else this week. Again, like I feel like I'm just repeating myself with White and Martinelli. Like, is there a chance that Odegaard outscores Martinelli or Gabriel outscores White by 4 points this week? Possibly. Over the next 5 weeks or 5 games? Possibly. But there's no guarantee, right? All we know is White comes off earlier than Gabriel, so there is a chance he goes off before the 60th minute. There is a chance that Tomiyasu starts, whereas with Gabriel, that's not really the case, right? He's pretty much nailed on. And it's the same with Marseille and Odegaard. Trossard is taking minutes off of Martinelli. Will he start at some point? Maybe, but I can't sit here and guarantee that. Whereas with Odegaard, there's just less competition. But Vieira is there. Who knows? Maybe he will start at some point. Who knows, right? I just think it's less likely. So whether or not the -4 is worth it, it's really up to you. Like all I can say is sometimes I do a -4 and I think it absolutely makes sense. Like Mount to Fernandez for -4, like I did in Game Week 20. This one, it's not that sure. Like, I think they're okay moves, but I can't. I guess I can't really sit here and massively justify it. I don't think there is a massive justification for it. There's just a bit of hope. Triple captain Haaland this week. I would do that if I still had it, yeah. Shaw, Lewis, Martinez, Saka, -4. Or White to Akanji, Bruno to Saka, -4. Probably the second one. White's Gabriel for -4. I've just spoken about that. One transfer used on Andreas to Saka. Another free. Shaw to Tarkowski, but that's a bench move. I don't see why you would do that. I would do Martinez to Odegaard for free, I think. But again, it depends. Like, is rolling a transfer going to help you for the next few weeks? Only you can decide that. But doing Martinez to Odegaard for free sounds alright to me. Play one from Sean Yon to an Andreas. Andreas, should I change Martinez to Odegaard? Do you know what? I know I've answered Andreas quite a lot, but I'm really not sure about playing Andreas ahead of Nyonto. I guess with the fixture you probably do. Should I change Marseille to Odegaard? Okay, Amaris and keep Marcelli. I don't know. Already have White, Saka. So you got White, Saka, Marcelli. I mean, you could just get. Can you not get Mahrez for the double, and then do Marseille to Odegaard next week? Like, if you can afford to do that, just do that instead. Dimitri, thank you very much. Why is nobody talking about Wolves defenders? Because most people don't need a defender this week. They've already got Trippier, an Arsenal defender, and then probably Shaw or maybe a Man City defender. Some people have got Brighton defenders as well. So there's no need to have a Wolves defender for this week. In Game Week 24, the fixtures are pretty good for Wolves, right? But most people are not going to bench Trippier, even though he's got Liverpool at home. People have got Man United players against Leicester, Man City players against Nottingham Forest, and who's the other one? Arsenal players against Aston Villa away. So again, they don't need a defender for next week. The double is Fulham away and Liverpool away, so it's not necessarily that great. They could concede in both games. And then afterwards, it's Newcastle Spurs, and they don't definitely play in Game Week 28. So that's why no one's talking about them. But that doesn't mean they're bad, right? It might work out for some people, but that's what most people have got. They don't need a Wolves defender. And the reason people are going for Tarkowski over a Wolves defender is because they've got a slightly better double in 25. There's obviously some hope that Sean Dyche will get them defending better as well, as they did against Arsenal. They definitely play in 28, and they will play in 32 as well. So there you go. That's the reasons. But again, for you, a Wolves defender might make absolute sense. I did look at Craig Dawson at one point, and I was going to play him next week. Because I've got Ake. I'm not sure he will play next week, so it might be better having Dawson. Not hearing any chat about Marseille to Odegaard. What are your thoughts? Yeah, I like. All I can say is the thing for me, the reason I probably did it in the end was just peace of mind. Right, I look at my team now, and I think I've got the 3 Arsenal players that I think are the best. I think Nketiah in the short term for sure could be as good, if not better, than Gabriel Odegaard, maybe even Saka. Right. But for the long term, these are the 3 that I want. I've got them now. I'm happy with them, and that's it. And that was worth a -4 to me, right? It's not logical thinking. I'm not thinking from an EV perspective or anything like that. For those of you that play looking at EV a lot, we won't go into what that means right now. It's just a thing I wanted to do for my team. Sometimes you need that in FPL, right? I'm never going to be full on logical thinking all the time. And also, like the minutes for Gabriel and Odegaard are better, so there is a chance it also pays off. And I'm not saying starts, I'm just saying minutes in total. I've not seen any Chelsea team news. Someone did say on the member stream yesterday that João Felix was starting, I think. De Gea to Sarr from Wolves fixtures if happy with team. Yeah, sure. But the only, actually, I probably wouldn't get Sarr. I would probably play De Gea this week. Honestly, I would get Pickford instead. Like, if you want a different goalkeeper, for all those reasons I just talked about for Wolves versus Everton, I would get Pickford and I just wouldn't do it this week. I would do De Gea to Pickford in the double. I know it's crazy. Thinking about Pickford, but that's probably what I would do. Or even Sanchez if you get rid of Game Week 25. Gnonto or Burn. Oh, that's tough. I'd probably play the attacker. Reese, thank you very much. BW123. Bring in Gabriel for sure, or Nketiah for Gnonto -4. I think I'd probably do Gabriel for sure, and the reason is Gnonto will play in 25 and Shaw won't. So you're getting a double game weeker in now, and you're getting rid of someone not playing in 25. That you're like Saka's not going to be a hold for most people through the blank. So again, it all comes down to team setup and transfer routes. But is Nketiah better than Gabriel for the next 3 game weeks? He might be, for sure. Like, I don't mean for Luke Shaw. I'm just saying he might be, for sure. But I think over the longer term, I think Gabriel is probably the better pick for your team. EV, is this a poker stream? No. But people talk about EV in for FPL. Have you never met Analytics FC? Juan Pierre Kotze, sorry, went for the Marseille Saka move because Saka on penalties average of 10 minutes per game week next 8 games. That's a whole extra fixture. Nice thinking. As long as Saka plays 90 minutes in all those games, which he may not. No real threat to start 11 in better form as of now. -4 worth it. Boom, there you go. As long as you're happy, that's all that matters. Brought in Saka for Marseille this week so I can sleep easy. Yeah, nice. Tempted to give him the armband too. I'll leave that out to you. I'm definitely going Haaland. Van Dijk's back in training. He posted this morning. Happy days. Especially for that person that thinks Trent's going to be the best scoring defender next 3 game weeks. I mean, I would say that's quite likely, yeah. Especially with Trippier having a blank and stuff. Like, I think there's some people, well, not many in this chat, I would say, but there's some people that are going to sell Trippier soon. He's got Liverpool, blank, Man City away. Now, I'm not saying they're going to sell Trippier and never get him back, but I think some people are going to start selling Trippier soon. Like maybe 1% of all owners. Maybe 0.5%. And again, I think it might make sense for some people. But if you got him like really, like if you got him at 5 million, there's no way I would do that. But for me, I would only lose 0.3. And he's probably not going to go up in price with Liverpool, blank, Man City. But I probably don't need to do it. It would be a big risk. Start Botman or Shaw? Botman. White, Gabriel or Zinchenko? Gabriel. Like I do like Zinchenko, but I just think if one of those 2 players out of Gabriel and Zinchenko is going to miss out, it's more likely to be Zinchenko, even though I think both of them will start every game for the foreseeable. And Gabriel's goal for it, I've just got a bit of a soft spot because I had him earlier on in the season and he scored for me. I think it was this season he scored for me. Am I talking rubbish? I feel like he scored for me this season. Against Fulham at home. Yeah, because they conceded. Yeah, he scored. He got 9 points. He scored against Chelsea as well. Got a 15-pointer. He's already scored 2 goals. Hopefully he can get more. I mean, Zinchenko could obviously get open play returns as well. Or even score from a corner. Who knows? But I prefer Gabriel. Any decent Ake replacement? I would probably just hold him, to be honest with you. Just for this week and then look to get rid of him. That's my plan. Mudryk against West Ham or Tony against Arsenal. Probably play Tony. Guaranteed to start. Guaranteed minutes. Penalties are good, even if it's a tough game. Can't afford De Bruyne. Hold Bruno or get Mahrez for a -4. I think I would only do Bruno to Mahrez for a -4 if it unlocks funds for like another good move, like getting an Arsenal player. If it's just Bruno to Mahrez for -4, I'd be very tempted to just hold Bruno. It's close though. I mean, you could just chase that upside. There's nothing wrong with that. Rashford to Mahrez or Marseille to Odegaard. Martin. I mean, Rashford again. He's got blank soon. Liverpool. Probably blank in 28. I'll say keep Mahrez and do Martinez to Odegaard. Do a Martinez Saka for free, Mitrovic to Nketiah or Fernandes to Odegaard -4. No other way of getting 3 Arsenal. I would do Fernandes to Odegaard again because Mitrovic will definitely play in 25. He's got a good fixture this week. Fernandes doesn't play in 25. He'll also free up funds for you to do other moves in the next few weeks. So, and Odegaard, I think long term is better than Nketiah. In the short term, like I've said a million times now, maybe not. But I think the move longer term makes more sense. Bruno to Saka or Martinez to Odegaard with 1 free transfer. I think Bruno to Saka probably makes more sense. And then if you want to do Martinez to Odegaard later on, you'd have the funds to do it. Play Botman or Shaw Botman. Keep Almiron versus Bournemouth or get Odegaard. Definitely get Odegaard. Yeah, I think Almiron could do well against Bournemouth, but I would want Odegaard even for a -4. You never advocate Saliba. Look, some people got Saliba when he was 4.5, 4.6, 4.7, right? That makes sense to keep hold of him, but it does not make sense to buy Saliba. He's more expensive than Gabriel, but has less goal threat. And I know now I've said that like quite a lot this week. He'll probably outscore Gabriel, but I don't see why you would go for Saliba for more money. And that is it, basically. So it looks like you this week, it's Salah and Bruno and Mitrovic versus De Bruyne and Nketiah Kane to see if you get a green or red arrow. Yeah, something like that. I think a lot of my main differentials this week will probably be Ederson, Ake, Salah again, and maybe Saka to a certain extent, but I guess he's been brought in quite heavily this week because Saka has been a massive differential. He just hasn't got as many points. Hasn't got as many points as I'd like. Yeah, Saka's been bought in by 500,000 people, so he's no longer a differential now. And the thing is, when you look at 500,000, it doesn't sound like that much for 11 million players, but so many of those people are going to be in the top 1 million, so he's no longer a differential now. Reece James starts. Yeah, he's had a week off, hasn't he? So I guess that's not surprising, unless he picked up another injury. Where have you seen that? Willian Gnonto or Mitrovic start? It's got to be Mitrovic. I know Mitrovic has been frustrating, but surely. Oh God, the person, you know, sometimes like I've had early Liverpool news. The person that, oh okay, just messaged me. I was thinking, Christ, don't message me and tell me Salah's not starting. That would be a nightmare. Where have people seen the thing about Reece James, or is that just rubbish? When did Chelsea even play today? Yeah, they don't play till 3. Wait, it's not 12:30 game. Oh, wait, I'm looking at the wrong game week. I'm looking at the wrong game week. Sorry, it is. Sorry. I was looking at the wrong game week. Ah, idiot. I was looking at game week 28, I think. Play Mitrovic or Matoma. Mitrovic. Jerry, thank you very much. Tony or Gnonto. Tony. Start Gnonto or Shaw. Gnonto. Salah to De Bruyne for free. It could work out, yeah. As long as you don't want Salah back. If you do want Salah back, I don't think it's quite as good. But you could still go for that upside. Nothing wrong with that whatsoever. Right, yeah, so sorry. With that Reece James stuff, has there actually been any news or people just guessing? So Chelsea up first against West Ham. I've got to watch. I'm not even watching that. I've got to watch Kepa get a clean sheet, get another 10-pointer, knowing that Ederson won't outscore him. Most of my, a lot of people. How many people have sold Fernandes this week? Fernandes has been sold by 328,000 people. So he is going to be a bit more of a differential this week. So my main differentials are all tomorrow. So Fernandes against Leeds. I've got Ake, probably won't start against Villa, and Ederson. And then Salah is on Monday. I mean, before that, it's pretty boring. I've got no Kepa. I've got triple Arsenal, but so does everybody. No Mitoma. I guess I've got Mitrovic against Forest. It doesn't make sense captaining Haaland. I can't deal with Haaland, right? It gives me a headache. I spent all the first half of the season coming up for reasons not to go for Haaland captain and look like an idiot. And now I'm captaining Haaland every week. I keep getting told it doesn't make sense. I can't keep up. Ake or Botman? I think you've got to start Ake, but I'll be honest with you. I'm very doubtful about him starting against Villa. I'm just not convinced whatsoever. I think Laporte is going to start, and I think that's a big worry. Because then he's only got Arsenal, and there's every chance that he concedes in that game. So I think there's some merit to talking about playing someone else, but ultimately I would probably just start Ake. Just have to hope that Rico Lewis starts on the right, and then that gives more chance for Ake to start. But there's no guarantee that Laporte won't play. For Ake, Aaron, it would just be great if Laporte has picked up a slight knock or something. Don't want it obviously to be out for ages, but just enough to keep him out of the Villa game. Ahmed, thank you very much for 18 months member. I got Saka for Amon for free. Great move. Is it worth taking a hit to get Odegaard from Marseille or Fernandes to Mahrez or Trippier to Ake? I definitely wouldn't do Trippier to Ake. Odegaard from Marseille, it might be worth a hit. I don't know if there's much more I can say on it. I've done it for kind of peace of mind, Marseille to Odegaard, but that's about it. There's every chance that Marseille starts twice. No Chelsea news so far. I don't think I would do Fernandes to Mahrez for a -4. Bruno to De Bruyne for -4. I'd be tempted by that, yeah. Buy Mitrovic or Kane to hold until at least 25 and maybe longer. Kane is better than Mitrovic, for sure. But obviously he's a lot more money, so if you get him, that's going to block you doing other moves. So you need to think about that. And you need to think about it in the next 8 minutes and 51 seconds. Start Trent Alexander-Arnold or Reece James. Oh, wow. Now you're really putting me up against it. Two of my favourite defenders in the whole game. I guess you've got to start the home guy, haven't you? You've probably got to start Trent. Yeah, you've probably got to start Trent. And I would say start Trent and just do not watch the West Ham game. The thing with Fernandes to De Bruyne for -4 or Fernandes to Mahrez for -4, I guess I'm just more confident with De Bruyne's minutes. But we have to, I have to acknowledge that Mahrez has been starting quite regularly. There's every chance he starts twice in the double. So if you want to go for that upside, more risky play, then do it. Do it. Is the Newcastle and Bournemouth game in doubt? Don't think so. Not that I've seen. Play James or Shaw. James. Start Rico or Andreas. Rico. As a Villa fan, my heart won't let me do Salah to De Bruyne. Fair enough. Then you can just hold Salah with the rest of us idiots and enjoy his 2-pointer. I guess there is an outside chance that he gets a 3-pointer this week if they can keep a clean sheet. They did keep a clean sheet against Chelsea not too long ago in game week 21. But they haven't kept many outside that. In fact, that's their only clean sheet since game week 12. Oh my God. They need Van Dijk back so bad. They need Van Dijk, Jota, Diaz, and a whole midfield, and then they'll be fine. Doodle-doodle-doo, doodle-doodle-doo. Now I'm listening to... So George Ezra's gone off now. I'm listening to Sigrid. Forest have Navas now. Don't you think it'll be harder for Mitrovic to score? I mean, sure, but they're still going to give up chances, right? Do you know what I mean? Liverpool have got Alisson. They still concede plenty of goals. Bench Mitrovic, Mount or Mitoma. Probably Mount out of those. Probably Mason Mount. He went down in price last night, I think. Don't kill my vibe. Right now it's burning bridges, but that might have been on. Bro, disrespects Forest so bad. They're the same points as Palace. What does that have to do with anything? Honestly, what does that have to do with anything to do with FPL? Who cares if they're on the same points as Palace? The only questions about Nottingham Forest have basically been, do I think that Keylor Navas is going to stop Mitrovic starting and the answer scoring? And the answer is no, I don't think it makes too much difference to whether you pick Mitrovic. That's it. I mean, Navas might save 3 Mitrovic shots and Mitrovic might blank again, absolutely. But would the fact that Nottingham Forest have signed Navas stop me playing Mitrovic? No, that would be mad. That would be mad. Charlie F, thank you very much. People sleeping on Darwin? I don't think so, to be honest. Maybe for 25. Again, you might be some reason to get him in now, but yeah. Our teams are completely different, but somehow after 22 weeks, we both ended up on the exact same points. Yeah, like I think I was chatting to Ben yesterday, and he said our entire lineup is the same, apart from I've got Salah and he's got Kane, and yet he's like absolutely smashing it. Obviously, partly because I've got Salah and he's got Kane. I don't think it was that long ago he made the move, and he is top 3,000 in the world, and I'm just outside top 500k. So my team's very similar to his. It doesn't take too many slight issues to lose a lot of points. Like, again, Salah versus Kane, Ederson versus Kepa, triple captain Haaland versus Rashford. That's like 30, I don't know, 60, 70 points maybe. Maybe I'm exaggerating a little bit. Maybe like 40 to 50 points over like 3 game weeks. That's a lot. And it can slip so easy. That's just three players or 3 decisions different. It's maybe not quite that many points because I'm acting as if Salah and Ederson haven't got any points, but maybe like 30 to 40. I'm not going to go and work it out. Kepa's been killing me, brought him in this week, fair enough. Sheriff, 60 months, thank you very much. I'm surprised no one told you to bench Salah for Tarkowski. I think someone debated it earlier, but yeah, I mean, as much as you might hate Salah, I mean, let's be real here. Triple captain Haaland, let's go. Good luck. I think it's a good move. Oh, now it makes sense. Thoughts on FPL Raptors fight against Makachev tomorrow? Now it makes sense because someone said that to me the other day and I just thought, I have no idea what you're talking about. But now because of the UFC chat earlier, I mean, I wouldn't say he looks that much like him though, to be honest, but I get it now. It all makes sense. Bailey to get a goal against City, probably. Double City defence. Ake will probably start. They'll both probably concede. Why not? We got 2.5 minutes till the deadline, so make sure you got your transfers locked in. I'm going to just double check mine. Okay, so we've got Haaland captain, Saka vice captain, Tarkowski ahead of Mings on the bench because Liverpool worse than Man City. Greenwood just doesn't play. Yeah, I think that's fine. Salah still in there. Just checking Salah's still there. Didn't lose him. He's still there. Bench Mitoma or Mitrovic. I would bench Mitoma, but as we've just discussed, Nottingham Forest have got Keylor Navas now, so they might not concede a goal ever again. Mings clean sheet and goal and coming 15 point. I mean, probably. I feel like that. I don't even feel like I've made a huge amount of mistakes recently, but I do feel like that about my team, that just nothing is going right. And so the thought of someone saying to me, Mings 15 point, I was just like, yeah, probably will happen. I've just realised I've left the poll up. I've left the poll up for like half an hour. So thanks for voting on that poll. Raptor just took a -8. Very nice. Bench Ryan Lewis or Shah. Is that Rico Lewis? In which case I'd just play him with a double and hope for the best. Would you do Martial to Felix for a -8? If you have to play Martial this week, I would take a -4 to get rid of him, yeah. If you've got a good bench option though, you could just bench him. What -8 did he do? I've kept Bruno on the bench and Matoma playing. Good luck. I would definitely go the other way around, but that is just me. Okay, one more quick look. I think we're locked in. I already have my transfer done, so I've already got my tweet loaded. Ready to tweet out my team. Super important. Just did a punt on João Felix. I quite like João Felix. I don't think I'm going to have the money or the transfers to get him in. But I quite like him. I think he's going to be a regular starter, and his minutes will be pretty decent. They play in 25. They play in 28. He's only 7.5 million. Massive differential. Chelsea at some point surely will start scoring goals. Happy days. I quite like him as a punt, so good luck to you. Good luck to you. Are we locked in? We are locked in. There we go. Game week 23. This is the team that's going to get me a red arrow this week. Game week 24, I may roll the transfer. I might do Edison to Pickford. I'll probably roll the transfer into 25, then decide on Liverpool players, basically. So this is hopefully going to be the team that sees me through till next week as well. Who knows? Maybe I'll play Tarkowski ahead of Mitrovic next week. Who knows? Tarkowski header versus Liverpool. I mean, I don't really care if Liverpool concede. I just need Salah to score. But I've been saying that for like... How many weeks is it since he last scored? Is it 6? 1, 2, 3, 4... Okay, 5 blanks in a row. He did blank... He's never blanked 5 games in a row all season. Oh, so bad. So bad. I give up saying what I need from Salah. I just need him to have a shot on target at this point. Is Nunez able to kick the ball in the back of the net? Maybe. The solver suggested Martinez to Odegaard and Bruno to Matoma. Yeah, I think I thought about that elsewhere. And the reason that Bruno to Matoma and Martinez to Odegaard wasn't a bad move is because it frees me up. So, I looked at this, right? And the reason why that move is good is because it means I haven't bought Tarkowski, so it means I've got a transfer to do Shaw to Trent. Whereas now, if I get to game week 25, and this is really thinking ahead, but if I get to game week 25 and Darwin Nunez or Jota aren't options, and I need to shift that Fernandes money, and I want to put it into defence for Trent, it means I've got to sell one of Mings and Tarkowski, Gabriel and Ake, who all have a fixture in 25, or Trippier, who blanks. But obviously I want him after that. So that is why I looked at Fernandes to Matoma. But in the end I didn't do it because I just didn't want to do it this week. So that might be the better move. I'm hoping that Darwin Nunez is still an option because I would just do Fernandes to Darwin in game week 25 instead of getting Trent. But let's see. Use eye test more. Yeah, maybe. I haven't heard the latest Linkin Park song, but I might check it out. You and I must be the only two, I won't say that word, that still have Salah in our teams. There's a few of us. What is his ownership now? Did he go down in price last night? I don't think he did, but he might go down tonight. He's owned by 21.7, so 21.7% of 11,178,844. So there's 2.42 million Salah owners, but a lot of dead teams for sure. A lot of dead teams. Off topic, hope everything's alright, everything's good. So I'd say there's 2.4 million dead teams and then like 20,000 of us that own them. Nearly fell off my chair when you said you might get Trent. Hopefully you didn't hurt yourself. Alright, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you very much for joining me this morning. Make sure to give it a like if you enjoyed it. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And I will catch you on Sunday. And the good thing about the knee-jerk stream this week on Sunday is Salah won't have played. So at that point, I'll still be living in hope that he can get something, and I won't have to stream after he's blanked again. So that's good this week. We'll do a stream on Sunday, probably at 8 o'clock. Let's see what happens in the double. But yeah, good luck this week. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. And I will catch you again very soon, aka tomorrow.